Hi, and thank you so much for joining me today for day 25 of 30 Days of Sketches with Christie's Beautiful Life, round 10. And today's sketch is by Allison Davis, and it's lovely, it's right up my street. So she's used strips behind three small photos. So I've pulled out My School is Cool from Bella Boulevard again. I've used this previously. And I'm just focusing on the yellows, blacks and reds because I'm scrapping photos of my children back in 2013 when they were going to a friend's birthday party and he wanted them all to dress up as pirates. So here they are dressed up as pirates. So we did a quick photo shoot of them both dressed up. They look so cute. There were only 5 there. So just pulling out the colours from those photos, which is the reds, blacks and yellow. So I've cut 6 1-inch strips from the 3 papers that I've got, and I'm just using 5. So I've left one of the yellows behind because 2 reasons really. There's not a lot of yellow in the photos, just a tiny bit of gold on their buckles and things. And also I don't really like that it's an ombre on the reverse of that paper. I prefer the tone-on-tone prints that we've got with all these other papers. So I've just cut a small section off the bottom of the strips, and then I'm using that one. I'm doing them in 2s, so I'm using that same one there to measure and get them all the same length, and then adding the fishtail banner to the top and bottom. So that's that done, and then just making sure that they're all different. So using the front, the A side and B side of each of the papers there, and just laying them down and checking that I'm happy with that. So now that's done, I want to create a bit of a background for these strips to go on. You really won't see much of the background, but it does add something. It's just adding layers all the time. If you've watched my videos previously, you'll know that this is something I enjoy doing. So I've grabbed this Tim Holtz Stampers Anonymous stamp. We sell this in Hey Look a Magpie. And my Distress Oxide in Black Soot, and I'm just roughly randomly stamping around where these strips will sit on the layout. So using a few different stamps here, and like I say, just stamping randomly. So just bringing the strips in here to check that I've stamped far enough across and that I'm happy with the placement before I carry on with some other stamps. And just carefully moving those off because I forgot Distress Oxide does take a little while to dry, so you can smudge it, and you'll see I've smudged a few bits there, but it does, like I say, it doesn't matter. They're going to be covered up by the paper strips, so it's absolutely fine. So just pulling up different stamps from this set. This one's got some dates roughly stamped on, so I've gone through with that. The first one was almost like a shattered glass effect, and I love this one. It's a checkered, like a checkerboard, and I think that goes really nicely with pirates. So I want to make sure that some of that is peeping out from the sides of these strips. So now that that's nicely covered with the black soot, I'm going in and distressing all the edges of those 1-inch paper strips. Again, just repositioning the photos to check that I'm happy with everything. And you can see that checkerboard just peeping through, and all the stamping just peeping through. You don't notice it, but it is there, and when you look for it, you can see that it's there. So it really does make a difference. So now I wanted to add a little bit of red to this, so I'm coming in with my Candied Apple. That's the only red Distress Oxide that I've got. So just adding some of that with this polka dot stamp. It's almost like a bubble wrap stamp. And again, this will just peek through the layers of the paper strips. So now I'm going to glue these down just very gently because I'm going to come in with the sewing machine. Alison has actually got stitching on her strips anyway. Now it's normally my go-to to go through the middle of these strips and then pull the edges up, but on Alison's sketch they're actually stitched on the sides. So I'm going to follow her sketch for this. And it looks really effective. It's something a bit different. So again, bringing the photos in, just double checking that I'm happy with where those strips are, because it's not too late to pull them up now, but it will be once the sewing's on there. And then I'm going to map the photos on some plain white cardstock, and you can see I managed to get ink over my fingers and it's all over that card. So we'll just flip the card over and stick the photos on the reverse. There. So just using double-side tape, stick the photos down, and then I'll just cut them out with my large scissors rather than messing with trimmers. When they're small photos like this, I tend to just reach for my scissors. And it's at this point I see the main photo I want to keep whole, but the other two have quite a bit of blank space on them. So I just trimmed down the photos, just trim off the excess bits. And it's quite nice having 3 photos of differing widths, and they are going to be overlapped anyway, so. That's the second one, just going in with the third one now, and you'll see it's just a small bit that I want to trim off here. It's just our lounge wall, and doesn't really add anything to the photo. And the kids were off centre in that photo as well, so it looks much better having them centralised on the photo. So now those 3 are down, I can use my scissors, like I say, just to cut them out using a very small border, like that. So that's done. Bringing the layout back in again, and once again just checking the placement, because I've trimmed those down. I want to check that everything's still okay. And yeah, happy with those. So now I'll bring out my sewing machine, and like I say, add that stitching to the left and right hand sides of the strips. I won't make you sit through all this because it's boring watching a piece of paper going through a machine. But there they are done, and I'm just leaving those threads hanging as they are at the top and bottom of the strips. It just adds to the distressed feel of this layout. So now coming in with some 49 and Market tickets from the red and the yellow collection. These are great for embellishing this layout because obviously it's red, yellow and black that I'm focusing on. So just positioning a few different tickets around the page before I stick the photos down. And for embellishments, because it's just the Bella Besties pack that I'm using, the paper pack, I don't have any embellishments to go with this because it's a school paper collection. I'm actually just going to dig through my old stash. So here we are, a very old, I think it's a Jelly Bean Soup, or it might be Lily Bee actually. Yes, it's a Lily Bee sticker sheet, and I'm just using a yellow polka dot tab from that, and that little chevron star at the bottom. Oh, and also the chevron flag that I've put on the photo there. The stick's completely gone from these, so I shall have to add some PVA to those. And then I went through an old Heidi Swap sticker book, and it's not something that you would have thought would go with these pictures, but suddenly I found this ransom style alphabet, and it's just perfect for the title. Honestly, I couldn't be happier. They were transparent stickers, so I've had to stick them down onto a piece of scrap card stock. So I've done that, and I will cut out each letter individually, but in the meantime I wanted to get the photos stuck down before doing that. So just using my Sticks to 25mm foam pads that are sold at Hey Little Magpie on a huge roll. I use these on almost every layout. They're absolutely fantastic, so just getting those stuck down here. And now those are down, I feel more comfortable cutting these letters out and getting those stuck down for my title. And it just reads Benjamin's Pirate Party. I ran out of A's, so I had to use a 4 for the A in party, but that's fine. Because it's ransom alphabet, I think that will work really well. So here's my tip for adding these to your layout on foam. I just cut a long piece of foam adhesive tape off and then mount each of the letters onto that, rather than doing each individually. It makes it much easier, especially if you want them to overlap. And then I add a couple of strips to make it stronger before sticking it down. So just using my T-ruler to check that everything still looks straight, and then I shall bob this first word down, Benjamin's, and once that's down it'll be easier to put Pirate Party down underneath. And yeah, really happy with those letters. I think they look fab. really make the layout. So just cutting another piece of that foam tape off so that I can layer down the other pieces. And now those titles are done and I've added the extra foam on. They can be stuck down too onto the layout. I was just sad that there wasn't an apostrophe. I hate bad grammar, but that there should be an apostrophe on Benjamin's, but never mind. I'm sure I can let it go. So there we go, that's the title down. And now we can really start embellishing. So I had these tickets that I'd already pulled out previously, so I just need to stick those down. Having to do a bit of pulling apart because the foam pads were in the way underneath, but it wasn't too much of a job. And then once I've positioned all of these, I shall go around and glue them down with my Nouveau Deluxe adhesive, which is my adhesive of choice at the moment, either that or double-sided tape. So here we go with the Nouveau. And it's easy because once you've positioned the things, you can just squeeze it in and keep them where they are without having to take them out and put them back again. So just making sure I get everything. And this is why I don't take them out and put them back, because it's a real fiddle. And now I'm going to carry on going through the bits that I pulled out of my older stash. So these are some LE Studio vellum heart stickers. I'm just using a red one there. And then the heart puffy stickers from LE Studio. I managed to get a couple of these on here in those two little clusters that I've got on either side of the photos. And then the 49er Market film strips. And I know there's a single one in red there, and I just wanted to pop that behind this first photo. But that was much easier said than done. Again, these foam pads getting in the way. And once again, this is me sticking things down before I've fully planned out the layout. So while I'm here, I decided to add some foam tape to this tab because the photo is now on foam. It needed to be held up really with some foam tape. So just fiddling to get that down, and then I can add this again. And it's sandwiched in between the photo and the photo mat. I love that layering there. So now coming in with another one of these wool balls from Amy Tan. They seem to last forever. I tried a white one down there, but it wasn't necessary, so I pulled that back up again and save it for another day. They're nearly gone now, but still going strong. And this is a very old label sticker sheet, not stickers, label sheet from LE Studio. And there's just a red tag that says snapshot details, and it's got date and place on it. I'm not bothered about putting the place because we're just at home, but I wanted to be able to add the date so it wouldn't work down the left hand side here. So it does go at the top here, and once again I'm having to pull things up, pull that ticket up that I'd glued down. But it's perfect there because it hides the word place, so I can just write the date where it says date and leave it as it is like that. So just going to distress the edges very quickly. I think when it's a cut apart like this sheet, sometimes you get bits left over from the other items next to it, so distressing the edges just gets rid of that. And then sticking this ticket back down again. And that's it from that sheet. And now these puffies from Jen Hadfield's The Avenue collection from a couple of years ago. And I found 3 to stick on here. The top one says awesome, the second one says birthday, and then the third one best ever. We had such a lovely time. And I'm just trying to bridge that gap between the film strip and the ticket at the bottom. I don't like having empty gaps like that. So now these are actually Disney stickers from Carpe Diem from Simple Stories a good few years ago, but they're reds, golds and blacks, so they work really well with this colour scheme. So I was just looking through to see what I could find there, and I like this balloon. So that gets stuck there, but I just wanted to hide the bottom of the balloon, so just moving that wool thing over ever so slightly, and then I find another circle that says fun, so that just fills in that gap. And then keep going through, and I find a couple more stickers to add to the top. That red one that says love this, and that goes next to that yellow stamp at the top there above the third photo. And then a smaller circle in yellow that says love. And that just fills up that top piece nicely. And then I tried this tab, and I like that. That says smile. Just stick it a bit wonky, so I have to reposition that. Just trying things out, but I didn't want another one of the same thing. And then I find a little ticket that says love, and that just tucks neatly into that bottom right hand corner. So just deciding what to do now. And I grab my Fernwood stamps because they've got these little splotches, and I just want to add a little bit of mixed media without actually doing splattering. I want it to be controlled. So I grab my Distress ink in Fired Brick. It's a slightly darker red than that Candied Apple, so it works much nicer with all the reds that we've got on this page. And dot that around, and then I'll go in with the black soot afterwards, just to bring in some of the black as well. But I really like how that looks. This stamp I can foresee being used an awful lot. There were 2 different splatters on that Fernwood stamp, and they really are great. That stamp, the more I use it, the more I realise how versatile it is. We've still got some in stock at Hey Little Magpie if anybody's interested. So just finishing off with this now, and then it's just the journaling. So I'll handwrite the date on that snapshot details tag just there, and then the journaling I've actually printed on my computer and printed out. So I used a typewriter font. I think it's called Veteran Typewriter. There's one called Mum's Typewriter as well, which works nicely. And then just cutting these into strips, I'll stick them on foam tape and add them to the layout below the title. And this just says, you had such fun at Benjamin's 6th birthday party, dinner at Frankie and Benny's, and the cinema at Westbrook. He wanted everyone to dress up as pirates. So it's just keeping those memories alive, really, isn't it? Just reminding yourself of exactly why they were dressed as pirates and what they were doing. And that's it. So please check the description box down below to see the playlist of everybody else joining in on this hop. I'd love it if you give me a like and subscribe if you enjoy watching my videos. And other than that, I'll leave you to watch the end of this, and then I shall be back again tomorrow with the next sketch. Not long to go now. Thanks so much. Bye.